Hello everyone and welcome to episode 26 of Top Table Live. You are as always joined by me, Top Table Jay, and unfortunately there is no Top Table Steve tonight. Steve has had to run off and do real grown-up kid issue things, so you are stuck with just me. But as Steve ever so kindly reminded me before he left, God knows I love to talk, so I'm sure I can fill the next 90 minutes with nonsense about tabletop wargaming and everything else. So hello everyone, how are you all? What have you all been up to? Oh, excuse me 1 second. Of course, we've just had a tech issue. There we go. I could hear myself. Anyway, welcome, and I'm glad you're all here. Because I've got no Steve, you guys are going to be keeping me company, so do keep the chat nice and active. Ask me anything you want, and we'll have some fun with it today. So, let's have a look in the chat who's in. So, first in was Malkavian. Good evening, Michael. Good to see you yesterday. I think it was in Element as well, buying some new toys. Very good. Good evening, Jog PLC. He says, evening. Sam Moorcroft is in, friend of mine. Hello, Sam. I've not seen you in here in a while. Hope you're good, buddy. Jog PLC says, good. Looking forward to the Jay Chatting Balls for 2 hours stream. Well, congratulations, my friend. You are in the right place. And he put some smiley faces. Paul McElroy's in, says, evening. Good evening, Paul. Expected to see you down at Element tonight, so it's good to see that you're in. What have you been working on, man? Are you still kind of Moonstone crazy? How's the AOS going? Everybody let us know all your hobby stuff that's going on right now. Stuart Russell's in, says evening. Good evening, Stuart. And Glenn Seymour is in. The wonderful Glenberger is in. How are you doing, Glenn? Hope you're all good, my friend. We've not had a chat in a while, so drop me a message. It'd be good to catch up. Christian says, evening, everyone. Good evening, Christian. And Christian, we owe you a huge shout out because you are sharing our content and let everyone know about the Facebook group and everything else. So massive thank you from me and the Top Table Boys for that. It is massively appreciated. Harinder Singh is in. He says, good evening, my friend. Are you new to the stream? Apologies, I'm rubbish at remembering names. If you are, and for anyone new to the stream this evening, you have to let us all know where you're from, what games you play, and how you found us, and we can maybe make some new friends. Will Pintar is in. I am. Now, Will, of course you're in, but I don't think we're going to allow you to take part in the competition because you've won enough games lately, my friend. So you're excluded from this one. Josh Bryant is in. He says, okay, here we go. Hobby stream for the night. Night Lords on the painting desk. Let's settle down and get to it. I love that attitude, my man. Do me a favour. Jump over in the Top Table Gaming community group. Post a picture of your Night Lords. And then throw another one up after the stream. And we'll see what progress you've got done. Anyone else who wants to do that as well, go and hit the Facebook page. We are so close to 1,000 people on that page as well. And we cannot wait for that. Jill Monroe says, evening or good evening, Jill. How are you doing? How's your week been? Graham Dixon, evening, Jay. Good evening, Graham. Great to have you in, my man. How are things with you? Sorry, bear with me, guys. We have lost something again. It's all going wrong. 1 second. Apologies, guys. There we go. Just getting connected back to you. How is that? We've lost the chat. We have lost the chat. We should be good now. So, where are we up to? Good evening, Graham. Hope you're doing well, my man. What has been going on with you? I know I owe you a message. You dropped me a message today. We will catch up later. How has Marvel been, my friend? Drug PLC says, evening, Jay again. Johnny Hart is in, and he says, evening all. And of course, I say good evening to you, my man. I've not seen you in a while. We need to grab a game and another dojo day. That would be ace. We've lost it again. What is going on here? Bear with me, guys. Oh dear. Legend Nick. Nick has hooked me up. So, Jill Monroe is saying, aha, the Fabled God Tier episode. Correct. This isn't the God Tier episode. That is coming. And I am going to speak to the powers that be at SFG and see if they're even going to let me bring in some of the designers. Maybe that would be fun, right? So, I'll be speaking to Steamforge about that and I will let you know. Flying Mammal's in. She waves and I, of course, wave back. How are you doing, Ruth? I hope you're good. It's great to have you in. Skullmunch, you better be in here as well when I get down the comments. Will Pintar, shame you haven't got a mate who's an experienced podcaster who you could have asked to help. I know, man. I only found out at about like 5:30, 6 o'clock, so I figured I'd win it. I know I did see you earlier today, but it's all good. Is this the touchscreen, Nick?
No, it's not.
Cool. We need to scroll down.
I need to do some techie stuff.
Steve is of course telling me to use the big telly, which is what we're about to do, because we have got a big telly there in front of us. So bear with us. But I'm going to let you know about my week so far and what's been going on. So what has been going on lately with Top Table, first of all. So we hit 5,000 subscribers, and how amazing is that? And thank you to all of you guys for helping us get there. That is absolutely incredible, and we massively appreciate it. 5,000 is a massive milestone for us, and I cannot thank you enough. You are all legends, and here is to the next 5,000 subscribers, and this channel just going from strength to strength and getting where it needs to be. It's a very exciting time, and we have got plans upon plans planned for you over at Top Table. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Okay, 1 second guys, we will soon be rolling. Cool. Okay, so Skullmunch says, evening Jay, good evening Skullmunch, how have you been my friend? It's good to have you in, and I hope I'm going to see you and Ruth on January 4th. That'd be amazing. Rob B says, good evening my man, how are you? Let us know what you've been up to hobby-wise lately. Paul Montgomery says, Burrows and Badgers, new addiction. So that's the Oathsworn game, right? That'd be really interesting to check out. Do let us know more about it. I know Christian is a big fan of that one. Let us know what you think of it, mate. And I've loved your painting of the Moonstone stuff as well. It's looking great. And for anyone who hasn't, do go and check that game out. It is amazing. Christian Reeves says, no worries, Jay. Happy to spread the word, which is hugely appreciated. And Glyn says, good to see you again, Jay. Hopefully you'll hold the fort tonight. I am here, and I am here to entertain and have a chat with you all about all things that are going on. So do let me know what you want to chat about tonight. We've got, let's have a look. Nice shirt, bro. Barn dance practice after stream. Hey, don't hate on this shirt. I love this shirt, so get lost. Johnny Hart is saying, painting Blood Angels as usual, nice. How far have you got, man? Because last time I saw you were painting away like a machine and slogging away getting them built, because you've of course gone from kind of kill team size to 40k, which is quite cool. So do let us know. Are you at the assault on element 4 or whatever Roman numeral Steve settled on the end? That'd be good to see. Let us know. Steve says, one job. Of course, one job, mate. It wouldn't be a Top Table stream without tech issues. There'd probably be more if you were here, so I'm not that bothered. Jog PLC, he's saying, I would post a progress before and after, but it'd be the same pic of me lay on the sofa. I am more envious of you lay on the sofa than I am people who are hobbying right now. I'm not going to lie, that does sound comfortable, and I'm glad you're watching us in the comfort of your chair. That's pretty cool. Graham Dixon says, I'm not wargaming, but another question. What do you think of The Mandalorian so far? I think The Mandalorian is amazing. So I've watched 3 episodes. I think there's only 3 out right now. I've watched 3 episodes and it is incredible. And I'm actually putting myself on a ban. I'm not watching the rest until they're all available, because half an hour every couple of days is not enough. So The Mandalorian is wicked. Let us know, you guys who've watched it, in the comments what you think of it. But I'm not watching any more until I get a chance to watch it all in one block, and that's good. I think it finishes just after Christmas, so that's going to be my little Christmas treat, I think. So let's have a look. Lee Darbican says, hi all, Jay, don't break anything. Dude, would I? I mean, technically something has already broke, but who knows. And Graham Dixon says, also got my daughter Mia with me as well, and she wants to say hello. Hello Mia, how are you? Your dad told me that he's going to buy you loads of toys this weekend because you're the best daughter ever. And I promise I'm telling the truth. So this Saturday, you're in for a treat, okay? Hi, Mia. Jimmy Mack says, good evening, Jay. Sorry, I'm like, dude, don't even sweat it. I appreciate you here. How are you, man? What have you been up to this week, hobby or otherwise? And John Marshall says, hey, mate. Hey, John, how are you doing as well, pal? John, is it your first time here? If so, let us know what you play, where you're from, and all that jazz. It'd be good to chat. Joe Moreau says, that'd be great. It looks like a great game. God Tier is on my list for getting into next year. Pre-New Year spending is off. God Tier is a great game. I played a game with Top Table Nick, who is sat just opposite me here. We had a bit of fun once we'd learnt the rules. We did a J thing where I just made them up. What looked right probably wasn't right. And then I managed to play a couple of games with Jamie Perkins this weekend. Incredible game. And interestingly, as I did tell you all, I'm giving away brand new, in wrapping, God tier, Eternal Glade starter set tonight. So, who wants to win it? The green screen's killing it, so we're going to put it back off screen. But to win this bad boy, I'm going to put it up to you guys. Whoever asks me the most interesting question tonight, now it is going to be a gaming question, but you can ask me any question, but it's only going to be cool gaming questions that I consider. At the end of the stream, I'm going to pick someone to win this bad boy. So if you want to be in it, let me know. Ask me a question, and as we go through the chat, we'll have a bit of fun, we'll have some laughs, and at the end, I'm going to pick someone to win this bad boy. So do let me know, guys. So let's jump back into the chat, and we'll see where we're at. I'm going to see if I can get it back up on here because my eyes are not that great. Where are we at? Cool, so there we are. So, Flying Mammal says, woo, 5k. I know, right? It's such an achievement. I am so proud of it, as are the rest of the top table boys, and we couldn't have done it without any of you. So much love, love, as our friend Luke says. We really appreciate it. You are all legends. Everyone's saying whoop, I'm blowing kisses. So, John Hart says, Warcry, mate, need to get back on it in the new year. Congratulations on 5k. We do, even I've not played a lot of Warcry as of late. So it'd be good if we can get together a date and get it done. Jog PLC is clapping. Flying Mammal says, see you there, Jan 4th. Looking forward to it. So, for anyone who doesn't know, we've arranged a meetup on January the 4th. So if you want to spend a day hanging out with us in the best place in the world, which is Warhammer World in Nottingham, we are going to head up to the New Year's open day, and we're going to hang out, and we're going to check out the museum and Bugman's and whatever cool on the day stuff they've got going on. And we would love for an absolute load of you to come and hang out with us. So there is an event group which we'll post in the chat later, and we'll post it on the Top Table Gaming community as well. So head over there after this stream to check that out. But it is a very simple premise, which is buy your own ticket. So just log on and buy a ticket for the New Year's open day at Warhammer World, rock up, and what we'll probably do is we'll arrange a time that we're all going to meet in Bugman's. We'll arrange a time we're going to do the museum, and we'll all just hang out and have some fun, and it'll be a good laugh. So do be there, because you will regret it otherwise. Rob B says, still waiting on my intro to AOS with you, but I finished off 2 sets of Warcry terrain. Built some corpse grinders and working on the terrain building tonight as need to prime the minis. Rob, we will make it happen, my man. And thank you for heading into the chat. You did see in the comments, you said you were going to be in a live soon, and me and you will throw down some AOS soon. Top Table Nick also needs an AOS intro, so we might do a bit of a group thing one evening, have a few drinks and a pizza maybe. Who knows? John Hart says, I am at Assault Element, my first 40k tournament. Only got 25 intercessors to finish painting. That sounds grim. You've got, what, 3 days? Oh, that's fine. You'll be okay. But for those of you who don't know, Assault Element is a top table event that Steve and Ben are running. They're doing a little one-day, very disorganized play, which is the term we always use, like fun-focused 40k event for people to come together, roll some dice, and have some fun. And it is, of course, at the home of Element Games. So do check that out if you are interested. There will be links everywhere, and as always, check out the Top Table Gaming community page, and you shouldn't be able to miss it. God tier, what other game would you compare it to? So what would I compare God tier to? So God tier is it's a hex-based game, so you can draw a comparison to Super Fantasy Brawl and things like that, and Aristea. It's a game where like the God tiers have come down from heaven and destroyed the earth when the gods died, and then certain people, as time went on, found they were worthy and could actually harness the power of these God tiers, and those are your champions. Now this is a no points, no list building game. You just pick 3 champions, and each champion comes with a little crew of followers, which are like your grunts. You just pick any 3 champions, throw them on the table, and it's three champions versus 3 champions in a standard size game, which go toe to toe, playing different scenarios where objective hexes grow and span. And it's got some really cool synergies and mechanics, and Steamforge Games always make a super tight, super clean, super fun game. Me and Nick had a game, I think we both loved it. I'm adoring it. I played some more games with Jamie, and I did actually, back when I used to work there, I got to play this in its very earliest form. So I've been very excited over the last 18 months waiting for the finished product to come. And it's currently all on my painting desk and getting done, and yes, you are going to see it on the channel. Johnny Hart says, alright Lee. John Marshall says, second mate, I'm from Denton and I play Lord of the Ring Khazad Dum for the win. Dude, I'm a Denton boy. I went to Thomas More School, so I know that area, my man. So you're a local guy to me, which I appreciate. Tanya is in and she says, hi all. Hello, Tanya. How are you? Will says, Doc conversion tonight. So me and Will, we've been enjoying the new Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games, which is definitely a game you should all go and check out, by the way. I am loving it. And Will, the Doc Ock pose, he's kind of arms crossed with his 4 robot arms, but I think Will's going to convert him so he's walking on the arms, which is super cool. But definitely a game you should check out. We've been having a lot of fun with it. Me and Will have been talking about maybe a video or 2 as well. So you may see his beautiful, beautiful face on this screen very soon. John Hart, what has been your favourite new game this year? Oh, that is tough, because as a lot of you watch the channel know, you'll know I tend to go and play all sorts of games from all sorts of genres and styles and things like that. What is my favourite game this year? Can I pick 3? And then ask me again in 2 weeks, because I think we're planning a kind of cool end of year review show for the last live stream of the year, or ask me again in maybe 4 weeks, and then we'll figure out what the one is. But if I had to pick 3, it's Warcry. Absolutely Warcry. From the minute we heard about Warcry, I was losing my bananas to the point that we got to play it, and then Warcry is 1. This is going to make its way in there. So that is 2. I'll get it off screen before it ruins the chroma again. God Tier is definitely up there. And a 3rd. So it's new game this year, so I can't quote anything I didn't play. Super Fantasy Brawl. It's not technically out yet. Maybe that doesn't count. Aristea. Adore Aristea. That is probably my other game that I would add this year. And I bet I forgot about 3 that someone's going to mention in the comments. I'm like, but there's 3 for you anyway, Johnny. So Glyn Seymour says, congrats on the 5k. Thank you, Glyn, you absolute legend. Sam Moorcroft is saying road trip. Sam, that would be awesome, man. You've totally got to come in with us for the day. We can carpool it and you can come and hang out with us. Skull Munch, what are you looking forward to in the new year? What am I looking forward to in the new year? That's a tough one, actually. Like, a lot of what I've been excited for was like Warcry, and then I've really been looking forward to God Tier and the Marvel games. So everything that I kind of had built up that I want to play has just dropped. So right now I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Next year, what am I looking forward to? So not games-wise, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys more. Things like the Weekenders and events and us lot getting together. Those are the highlights of my gaming year. So those. Next year, I'm hoping to get more painting done. I'm going to see if I can get more hobby time in and more gaming time in and just roll dice and have fun more. But I think that's probably everybody's wish for the new year, isn't it? Richard Smith says, I started my first Warcry campaign after a couple of practice games. Such a great game. It is such a great game. And I can't believe I've never tried the campaign mode. We never did it. We just jumped in. I quite like the organised play end. So we just jumped in playing tournaments and like pitch battle games, as they refer to it in GW. But the campaign system, I hear, is fantastic, and I always worry because of work and filming content and the live streams and stuff. I always worry about signing up to things like campaigns because you can so easily drop out of them, and if you're 2 games behind, you can start slowing other people down. But I would love to give that a try. Maybe like a campaign weekend could be a wicked idea for the new year. Steve is letting everyone know that he's got my ticket and his for Jan 4th. So do let us know if you guys have got your tickets so we know if you're going to come and hang out with us for the day. Johnny Hart says, work permitting, I'm up for Warhammer World. Good, man. That will be great fun. Josh says, photo is up on the group of the Stream Post, man. Heresy era 8th Legion for the Death Throes of Tirna Smarag event this weekend. You're just trying to make me say words I don't understand, aren't you, my man? Where is that event? That sounds cool. Is it a big one? Is it a small one? Is it one with your friends or your local club? Do let us know, because it might be something that someone else in here is interested in. And Brad says, oh man, Bradato Capelli says, oh man, you started. Sorry, dude, it's just me, no Steve, so we're running on time tonight. 10 minutes of tech issues, but we started on time. Richard Smith, who do you reckon is the most competitive faction? One from Chaos Warbands and one from the OG AOS army. So we're talking Warcry now. Okay, so let's start with the most competitive of the Warcry Warbands. I think I'm going to go with the Unmade. I think the Unmade have got some really powerful lists. I think the leader is super strong and you can get like 14 of the grunts in and just do weight by numbers. I think the unmade are probably one of them, probably the most powerful, in my opinion. But I do think the 6 Warcry warbands are all very well balanced against each other. The difference is when the AOS ones come in, because I do think the AOS ones are just better on the whole. And as for my favourite AOS warband in Warcry, it is absolutely the Flesh Eater Coats. And everyone knows it because everyone in Manchester ended up buying it. I'm looking at you, Nick, and you, Johnny Hart, through the camera. I think the Flesh Eaters are just nuts. And they're also great fun to use. So I would be checking out those for my favourite factions. Or the most powerful factions, should I say. Where are we up to? Flying Mammals says, if you could shrink to the size of a miniature to be in a battle, which game would you pick to enter? So probably like the friendliest, cuddliest, like hug game ever, because I would be useless in a battle. Absolutely awful. Like, I don't want to do that. I'd be hid. So I want to be shrunk even smaller so I can go and hide behind a wall or in a bush or up a tree and just let it all blow over, because I would be awful in a real battle. But if someone said you're not going to die, you're going to survive this, little miniature J, then I would probably go to Helm's Deep, because it's Helm's Deep, right? How cool is Helm's Deep? So that would probably be where I went. Flying Mammal says, which is your favourite game board element? Ooh, so I'm assuming you refer to the super pretty ones which we use at the weekend. Those aren't elements, those are Steve's. We break them out. So which is my favourite of Steve's boards? That is so tough. I love Lake Town. I love Lake Town. And the last game me and Steve had on it was probably my favourite game of SPG ever. Hopefully Steve and Luke are going to be doing something cool there, and I don't know if I should have just said that. We'll see if Steve shouts at me at 10 minutes in the comments. I love Lake Town, and I absolutely love his Dale board. I think it's so cinematic and so cool. But if you guys think those boards are good, something happened today that you won't see for a long time probably, but we have got the board of boards coming in 2020. So watch this space. I'm being Steve tonight. I'm spoiling everything I probably shouldn't. Johnny says top 3, and I've already done it, mate, so thank you for the thumbs up. That is appreciated. Paul McElroy says, do you think skirmish games are winning the battle on the tabletop? Absolutely. 100%. Excuse me one sec. No one to talk while I'm taking a drink. That's annoying. I need you back, Steve. I absolutely think they are, because the demographic for tabletop gaming these days is a lot more adults, people with jobs and kids and families and all that stuff that comes with being a grown-up, and we just don't have time. I adore things like AOS and Kings of War and Game of Thrones and your mass battle games, but ultimately people want to play with painted miniatures and get a couple of games in a week. I can do that when I only need to paint 10 models and I can play a game in 60 minutes. I can't do that when I need to paint 200 models and it takes 2.5 hours to play a game. Now don't get me wrong, I'm probably not what I think the consensus is. I love playing the bigger games and I love playing the smaller games. Both have an equal part of my heart, but I think given the demographic of people who play tabletop games, I think the smaller size is greater for hobby and just for playing purposes. Even like there's a term that's used which is kitchen table gaming, something that you don't need to necessarily go to a local gaming store to play, that you can break out on your dining table. Like that is just perfect. Like Warcry, like Kill Team, it's just so much more accessible for so many more people, which is why I think it's taking a bigger and bigger slot in the industry, and that is my opinion there. Let's have a look. Rob Brown says, what do you think companies should do as a minimum to build a community for their game? Whoa, we're going deep, Rob. That is a great question, and probably one that I can't answer at full length, because this is something I have run volunteers companies for Steamforged Games. I run the Pundit program back when we launched Guild Ball, something I've had experience in and something I see other companies do. So number one is absolutely engagement. Like, you want to feel like the company cares about the game. Seeing the company have such passion in promoting their game and engaging with the fans is just huge. And that doesn't mean in person. So regular content about the game, regular updates, even regular releases, it all counts towards helping the game grow, because if things are new and exciting, it's got more ways to pull people in. And then exposure is huge as well. making sure that the people know about the game, people know the game exists, people know where to pick it up from, and seeing it played in stores. And then other things like demos at trade shows are such a great tool for like new player recruitment. That's something that shouldn't be overlooked. And there is 50 million other things that I'm going to try and not tangent into, but those are all huge in part of building a community. But the most important is finding champions. So I'm going to reference someone we both know, Dan Meadows. That guy is an absolute legend. And when I think of The Walking Dead, Dan is one of the names that come to mind. He's a pillar of the community. He's interacting with people, and he's really showing the game in its great form. So people like that and the companies keeping those people happy and flying the flag is huge as far as a game growing, in my opinion. Great question, Rob. Jug PLC, who would win in a fight, Farmer Maga or Top Table Steve? I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? I don't want to be mean. Like, Farmer Maga has got that every day of the week. Sorry, Steve, but you know it's true, my friend. Green Tree's in. He says, hello, everyone. Hello, Green Tree. How are you, my friend? What have you been up to? And have you got Facebook yet? Most importantly, how are you doing, my man? Hope you're doing well. Let us all know what you've been up to. You're looking forward to the love stuff, right? I'm not sure what Steve is chatting on about there, but we'll leave him to it. Which game would you most, this is from Glyn, which game would you most like to pass on to the next generation if you had all the games you fully own? Ooh, and you fondly pass them down to your kid or grandkids because it was the most fun nostalgia-wise? It's got to be SBG. Middle-earth SBG is the reason 5 years, wow, it's 5 years ago. 5 years ago I got back into gaming. I obviously met James and Jamie through the GBHL, and then they introduced me to Steve, and look where that got us. But everybody I know through gaming all roots back to Middle-earth SBG, and some of the most fun weekends, and so many friends have come from the years of playing SBG and the tournament circuit, which is why after 2019 being a little bit of a hiatus from SBG for me, I'm back in. And the wonderful Gaz Baller from Brush Baller Painting Studios, he's currently working on my Hunter Rocks, and I can't wait to get back both on the channel and in person playing some SBG for you guys. Is that something you want to see? Let us know. Johnny Hart says, I want a crack at the Warcry game. That is absolutely great news because you are one of my favourite people to play Warcry with, so we'll make it happen, brother. Graham says, glad to hear you guys are still liking Crisis Protocol. Any plans for disorganised play for Element? There absolutely is. I was speaking to Asmodee today about our OP kits, which I believe are due tomorrow now. So I'm very excited, and we will be running initiation events, and if there's enough reach, like we could either do it through Element or Top Table, we could put on a day event, a weekend event. Ultimately, if there's a game that a lot of you lovely people love to play and you're willing to head down here, I will put an event on for you, because any excuse for us to hang out and roll some dice is one for me. And Marvel is just a great game to boot, so what is not to love about that? Richard Smith says, ooh, I'm playing Splinter Fang and Nagash. Yes, Feck Terrorgeist is epic. The Terrorgeist is epic. I've not had anywhere near enough involvement with the monsters in the game, but I would love to. It is an epic model, and it's epic in AOS as well. I need a game of AOS with Dem Courts. Johnny Hartman, after Assault at Element, once you get your intercessors done. So we've got Johnny, we've got Rob, we've got Nick. So there's 3 locals that are either sat opposite me or in the chat that all want an intro to AOS. I reckon I'm going to create a group with us all in after this stream, and we're going to find out a day where we can all get together and learn the game. That sounds fun, right? So where are we up to? Ian Torrance says, evening folks. Good evening, Ian. Great to have you in, my man. How are you doing? And apologies, I will one day learn how to spell your name, because I am awful at it, apparently. John Hart says, looking to get some more Kill Team in the new year too. Good stuff, man. I did try Kill Team this year, and weirdly, because I'd always looked at it and gone, oh, I love the size of it, but I'm more of a fantasy player than a sci-fi. And then kind of after playing a lot of Warcry, I was like, let's give Kill Team a go. And it wasn't for me, but I am up to trying it again in the new year. You never know, it might take a couple of games to bed. But yeah, Kill Team is wicked, and I love seeing it being played as well. It always looks really cinematic and fun. Josh Bryant says, Death Throes of Turnus Smarag is the name of the event. Night Lords are the 8th Legion from when the Space Marines were organised into legions rather than chapters in 40k. That is pretty cool. I do love some of the lore of the 40k universe, and it's so vast now. I didn't realise there's literally hundreds and hundreds of Black Library books, and it blew my mind, Nick. It was insane. And Rob B says, awesome. Glenn Seymour says, confirmed. Old Man Jay will be Ian Holm. Blackfire Productions are in. How are you doing? I'm assuming it's Adam. Good to have you in, my friend. And been watching the content, buddy. Do go and check out his channel. And he is saying, agreed, Crisis Protocol is definitely a great game. Super fun and chill. Martin Ullman says, good evening, Jay. Good evening, Martin. How are you doing, my friend? It's been too long. I would love to have a catch up soon. Ray Nicholas, sorry I'm late. It's just not acceptable. You were like, yeah, I'm in. Where have you been, my friend? It's not been the same without you. But now you're here. It's great. So anyone joining the chat, we are giving away a copy of God Tier tonight, hence the background and the box right there. And the question is going to the person who asked me the best question this evening. I'm flying solo without my brother in arms, Steve, so I've only got you guys to bounce off in the chat, so do let me know. Will Pentar says, add me to that war cry, may win another box set. You might win another game, Will. Like, I can see it happening, my friend. And I'm loving the fact you're trying all the new games at the moment, man. Graham Dixon says, I'll definitely get over some Marvel OP stuff then, definitely. And I'm sure we can justify a reason to bring you over as well, mate. I'll go and break the lasers or something like that. Matt Martin says, woohoo, late to the show. How's everyone? I'm painting Legolas tonight, hoping to play more Middle-earth SBG next year. That is a good choice, my man. And make sure you post an update of that Legolas. I would love to see it. Johnny Hart says, any more Warcry tournaments in the new year? Yes, we're going to get them kicked up from January onwards. It's definitely fell off the Northwest Gaming Centre calendar, but fear not, it will be back with a vengeance. Glenn Seymour, Weekender 3 in the works, question mark. That is a good question, Glenn. Moving on. Blackfire Productions, yes sir, it's Adam. I hope all is well. All is well, my friend. And yes, Glenn, of course it's in the works. You guys have been rocking out the content. I love it. Dude, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It is great to catch up too. Loving the what's the name of the series? Adam, throw a link in the comments if you can. Although I'm not sure if people can do that anymore. No, they can't. He's shaking his head. I will post something in our group on your behalf after this stream, my man. Josh Bryant, what's your favourite piece of 40k lore you've come across so far? The first drop pod is built. I actually haven't come across any of it, I'm afraid, my man, so I am the wrong person to ask. I just admire all the books. As a kid, I was more into it, and I had a serious soft spot for Fabius Bile, and I really loved all that stuff. That was very cool. I was one of the only 40k models I ever bought as well, interestingly. Where are we up to? Jog PLC, so God Tier. What's one thing you do like and one thing you dislike about it? So, one thing I love about it, so the way it works, it's called the battle ladder. So every turn, you are playing through the phases, and at the end of the turn, the person who has a token on their side of the battle ladder wins the round. So round 1 is worth 1 point, round 2 is worth 2, round 3 is worth 3, and then it goes back the other way. So round 4 is worth 2, round 5 is worth 1 VP, and you play first to 5. So if you win turns 1, 2, and 3, you're going to win 6-0. But if I win turn 1 and you win turn 2, and I win turn 3 and you win turn 4, it's 4-all, and we're playing for the last turn. It's a 5-turn game. So the battle ladder, like killing champions, can score you 4 points. Killing followers can score you a point. Planting your banner can score you a point, and your banner being there at the end of the turn can score you 4 points. So the different things your champions can do is literally swinging the ladder, the token up and down the ladder, and the winner is the person whose side of the ladder it is on at the end of the turn. And it's so dynamic, and it's really back and forward, and it's super engaging and fun. But then some of the list building comes into it, because there are 4 different types of champions, and some gain an extra VP for killing a follower, some gain an extra VP for killing a champion. So it's a really dynamic scoring system that I haven't seen before, and every game is like, do you know some games you play and 30 minutes in, you're like, I've lost this, it's over. Like, one thing with God Tier, which a friend of mine said to me on Sunday, is the game isn't over until the point that you stop and you lose. Like, it's so back and forward, and I adore that, and it just adds for really cinematic, really engaging games, and I would recommend everyone check it out. There's going to be how to plays and battle reports on the channel, which is why I'm painting at the moment. And do go and check out the first God Tier video which I made, which is the unboxing of the starter set. Where are we up to now? Bear with me a second, because I've lost this again. We're on the table, so let's have a look. Martin Almond says, Crisis Protocol is an amazing game, however there is a danger it goes the way of old X-Wing and a need to buy everything. that's a really interesting point, because one thing we did learn with, so the game came out and the core set is just incredible value, but it comes with 10 champions. But then the extras like MODOK and Hulk, they come with extra scenario cards and kind of unaffiliated tactics upgrade cards. So it's really tough, because if you want to play every scenario, or if you want every upgrade card, you're probably going to need to pick them up. So it is a either or. It depends how expensive the waves are and whether you're willing to play, or if you actually care about playing in that manner. If you're quite content just playing normally, then you don't need to, right? You can just play with what you've got with your opponent and everyone's happy, you know what I mean? So it very much depends how you want to play the game and stuff like that. For me, I am me, so I probably will be picking everything up. I did get Hulk and MODOK because they're amazing. But yes, it does have a bit of X-Wing about it, but anything that is related to Asmodee or Fantasy Flight does follow a similar vein. So at least you know what you're getting into on the way in, is kind of my opinion. Blackfire says, cheers dude. Yeah, it's World War Marvel segment. Rain says, if you would have to play a tabletop war game against death, Bill and Ted style, to save yourself if you would win, which game would you choose? Well, Rain, you don't know me very well because I lose a lot at everything. So I have to pick. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say God tier, because right now I've probably played more than most because it's very new. So I'm going to go with God tier. I would have said Marvel, but then Will had a demo and proceeded to crush me 3 times last week. I thought I was okay at Marvel till I played Will. So I'm going God tier with this one. Okay, so Jill Monroe, New Year's resolution is to get back hobbying regularly, working through the old How to Make Wargames terrain book from GW right now so I can rope some nerd friends in to get minis. That's really interesting. I've definitely fell off the last 3 months, but for the first part of this year, I made a point of doing an hour hobby every day. And at the time, it was making killer progress. I was painting like 60, 80 models a month, and purely because I work with screens and stuff in work, and then I stare at cameras and screens to talk to you guys. I felt like I was getting too much screen time. So my last hour before going to bed would always be hobby. And it really helped switch my mind off. And even just getting 30 minutes in a day, you wouldn't believe how much stuff you can get done. So I would definitely advise trying that next year. That is a good choice. We've then got... I'm breaking it. Harinder Singh says, do you think GW will be able to make new minis from the Lord of the Rings Amazon series? That is the world's biggest unknown question right now. Who knows? Hopefully they've been in talks with them when it get announced. It would of course make sense for both parties, but I think it depends. We can only hope, right? Because that's going to be really cool. Are we all excited for that? What are we looking forward to most? Because they've done some of I believe they've released some of the cast now as well. And I really like the guy who's playing the lead, Will. So I nearly said Will Pintar, but no, you're in the chat. I forget his name, but he's a really good actor. I enjoy some of the stuff he's done, but I am super excited. But I'm trying not to think about it because I'll just start getting impatient about when it's going to come. Glyn, love this question, Glyn, my man. He says, what do you love most about the social element of wargaming? The thing I love most about wargaming, full stop, is the people it lets me meet and the social element. I will play any game, and that's not just because I'm a model addict. I will play absolutely any game in the world if it gives me the opportunity to spend 2 hours hanging out at a table with someone I love or somebody new who I meet, where we can have a laugh, roll some dice and have some fun. The most social element of wargaming, so a good thing to quote from that is where the Weekender came from. So the idea me, Steve and the mega Andy Burdis had was that the thing we all love, and kind of the takeaway that most of us get from wargaming, is kind of the Saturday night fun. So whether it's we've gone for some drinks and a meal, or we've hung out in the venue and done a quiz. So with the Weekender, our aim was to make 3 days of the Saturday evening of people coming together. And some of the best memories I've got are from those times. So that is probably my answer to that question, my man. Blackfire says, I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter to arrive. By chance, have you checked out the campaign system? I haven't, man. I haven't got my Kickstarter either. I got some products early from the wonderful Steamforged Games. They sent me over some bits to play with, which was very generous and enabled us to create some content, which I appreciate. And then, of course, obviously Elements getting their stuff ahead of retail launch as well. but I haven't got my Kickstarter yet. And interestingly, I've not seen anyone post about the campaign system, but I am looking forward to giving it a go. Lee Dalberkin, I always wanted to learn AOS, but never had anyone else interested. Lee, you're now being added to the AOS group of what is probably now 47 of us to learn this. You're going to get involved with us, my man, and play some. So be prepared for that. So Lee Dalberkin says that. Martin Almond says, I've ordered it all, I am weak. Why wouldn't you order all the God tier stuff, my man? It is absolutely excellent, dude. I'm loving playing it, and of course, as a fellow, we met through SFG games and Guild Ball. Like, you're going to see some of the really classic SFG rules design in there that you will just love. Rob B says, what's your best value game out there at the moment, in your opinion? Ooh, best value game out there. So we're not talking about game design or anything, we're just talking about value. So what's got... It's probably the new Kings of War 2-player starter set. That bad boy is stacked with models. I've opened mine, I've not done much more with it, but that is full. The new Northern Alliance Night Stalker box is legit. What else? Best value. I'm going to go with Kings of War. That's a really interesting one. Caught me on the back foot with that one a little bit. We'll stick with Kings of War for that. Lee Dalberkin says, more Kill Team and Warcry. I am definitely up for that. Lee, we are always definitely up for more of you being around, my friend. Are you at, what's the next event you are at? Do you fancy the January Open Day? Do let us know for me, please. Where are we up to? Let's have a look. Just scroll up a bit for me, Nick. Thank you. Jill Monroe says, yeah, I was doing the same and also felt happier. That's why I want to get back to doing daily hobby. Jill, let's both make a pact now in the new year. We're both going to do 30 minutes of hobby a day. Nick's falling over because I usually get Nick to paint stuff for me on the slide. But like, let's make that happen. Me and you from New Year, that can be our hobby resolution for Top Table Gaming. Jog PLC says, I want to learn AOS 2. Might be an idea to get together a new starters group in the new year at Element. I'm starting to feel like we should do like an Assault at Element thing for AOS. Steve, are you still in the chat? What do you reckon, buddy? You up for it? Looks like we've got a serious crew of people wanting to get stuck into some AOS action here. Steve Bonhausen. Hi, everybody. Hi, Steve. Speaking of people who are prolific painters, Steve paints 4,316 models a year in 20 minutes a day because he's a machine. Johnny is then saying hello to him, and Glyn Seymour. Oh, Glenn, what is your favourite attribute about each TTG host plus TTG Nick? Oh, man. Okay, we're going to have to think about this. So, let's start with Steve. My favourite thing about Top Table Steve is... What's my favourite thing about... Oh, man, what a question. Steve's my bro, man. Like, we are so close. We think very similarly. And we just get each other, and me and Steve came together, and this, obviously with the other guys coming on board as well, this is what we've created. So if there's one thing I love about Steve, it's what we've achieved here. Top Table Lee, I love his beard and the fact that he plays every game in the world but never actually manages to play any of them. But anytime I get to roll dice with Top Table Lee, I laugh probably harder than I do with anyone else. And Top Table Ben is a machine. He is great for the channel, and the stuff he makes is fantastic, and he really helps me and Steve out, which is appreciated. And then Top Table Nick. Hi, Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Camera shy Top Table Nick, who probably doesn't like the fact I'm pointing him out. He's over there. What do I love most about Top Table Nick? I love most about Top Table Nick, it's nothing to do with the channel, but it's when I go, oh, Nick, a new game comes out in 3 days, and Element want 4 sets of it painted. And Nick's like, yeah, let's do it. And we've had nights where we've stayed in here till like 1 a.m, painting terrain and eating food that is not good for us. And Nick's fueled by Monster energy drinks and just talking nonsense. And that is probably my favourite Top Table Nick memory. What a question. Good job, Glyn. Don't make me think that hard again. Cool. Johnny Hart says, what is your most memorable gaming money? Any MVP models you will never forget? I'm gonna take that as what is my favourite model. My favourite model of all time is, and I've not owned this model since I was 13, and it was the first ever model that I owned, might I add, and it's called Amdor the Blade. So when Mordheim released in GW stores, it came out, and I couldn't afford Mordheim, obviously like paper round money, pocket money, but I got some rats and we were playing, and then you got basically an elf mercenary on the front of White Dwarf. I'll go and Google Amdor the Blade. Very cool. So I picked that up, and that is still to this day in my head my favourite model. Closely followed by the old school Warhammer Fantasy Snotling Pump Wagon, closely followed by the old school Dwarf Gyrocopter. And they may have also been the first models I ever owned, but I love that stuff. And those are probably my favourite models ever. Lee Oakley's in. Lee, how you doing, my friend? Your Iron Golems are and that's even before the super sexy sculpts. And he says, can't wait to get our God tier on. Oh, dude, I've been playing it for about a week. It's immense. Everybody should check it out. Jimmy Max says, 47 plus 1. I'd be up to learn AOS. We're going to have a bit of a Manchester AOS party soon. I can teach you all, and I'm mediocre at best, so I'll do my best. Lee Darbikin, as I am painting Grey Knights for Assault on Element, if money was no object, what army from any system would you like to have commission painted? Okay, so anyone who's known me a long time is just going to be like, we know you're an idiot for this answer. But the army I would like to have commissioned is an army I owned and no longer do, which I'm very sad about. So back in my early SBG days, the mighty Murtaugh James Baldwin used to do a lot of commission painting for me. James Baldwin is the person who created the Drowned Earth miniatures game, so he's obviously now way too busy to paint my models. Great game, by the way, go check it out. He commissioned a beautiful royal blue elf army for me. So to put it into context, I had every Middle-earth SPG high elf hero, a warband of every troop choice back when it was always 12s, everything of the new Hobbit elves and everything of the Mirkwood elves, all in this same scheme. It was thousands and thousands of points. And we're talking like James had won painting competitions with some of the heroes out of this army. It was my pride and joy. And then one day, I made a very silly mistake because I hadn't played in a long time and I needed to ultimately, and I sold it. And every 6 months, and it's probably 3 years ago now, and every 6 months I message the guy who I sold it to going, are you bored of it yet? Do you want to sell it me back? And he says no, and I go, cool, chat to you in 6 months. And he's always very gracious about it, but that is my biggest regret. So if I could have an army commissioned, it would be that army again, but it would have to be done the same by James because I miss that bad boy. I will see if I can dig out any pictures, and I'll post it over in the Top Table Gaming community group for you, my man. But yeah, that was beautiful. Also, AOS armies, because they're huge, and when like commission painted to a wicked standard that I couldn't achieve, they look immense. Johnny Hart says, my double critical star throwing Cypher Lords up there, if you remember. I'm not talking about that. I remember that day. Just have all the damage. That was good fun though. That day was wicked. That was when me, you and Nick played like 12 games of Warcry. That was a great day, my man. Martin Ullman says, my question is this, Sisters of Battle, is there a nostalgic element or just overhyped? I wonder how many people will take to events or keep for friendly casual fun. This is an interesting one, and I'm not overly educated in the world of 40k. They went bananas. They sold out in like 2 seconds everywhere, of course. Everyone went mad. I think so. You've got to bear in mind they teased the plastics for the Sisters 2 years ago, and then you've not been able to get like reasonably priced Sisters for years and years pre that, and they are real classic kind of pinnacle models in the range, I think. And people who play these kind of slightly outside niche, not really available factions are so passionate about them. And what they've now done with this new set is made them mainstream and available to all. So I think it's a bit of both. I think a lot of people have gone, oh, nostalgia, I can dig out my old Sisters from the attic and strip the paint jobs and start again. And overhyped, I think, is the wrong term, but there is nobody who can create hype like GW, not even close. Whether it's justified or not depends on the person buying it, not the company doing it. But they're killing it with their marketing right now. And ultimately, if someone's excited about some new toys and they can afford it and they're going to get fun out of building it and playing with it, then rock on. I say, yeah, enjoy it. But definitely not one for me. But I can see why a lot of people love it. And for anyone local, I believe there is a Sisters box as a prize at Assault on Element this weekend. So get yourselves down. Top Table Gaming, always up for anything that gets this lot in a room together. Of course, Steve. It looks like we're going to be all playing some AOS in the new year. Lee Oakley says, I'm coming up your way soon. We're going to get some games in. Goes without saying, my man. Drop me a PM, let me know when and where you're going to be, and we'll hook up and we'll grab a few drinks and some grub and play some games, because that'd be ace, because we keep missing each other at these AOS things we plan, my man. We need to get the Spoon Clan back together. Steve Bonar says, only 300... Shut up, Steve. Only 339 painted this year. Been looking at terrain building, etc. So I might just give that a go between minis. Do it. And that is still a solid amount this year that I don't think anyone else is getting close to. What was it in 2018, dude? Was it like 1,000? Do remind us, my man. Rain says to Nick. Ooh, Nick's got a question. What is your favourite flavour of I can answer this for him. What is your favourite flavour of Monster Energy? Here is a fellow Monster addict. So Nick's favourite flavour of Monster is Mango Loco. And the bar at Element actually stocks it just for Nick. Because he drinks that much of it, it's worth having on the menu. So there you go. That Andy does that much for us. We need to keep him awake, so it's in our best interest. Where are we gone? So Johnny Hart says, I meant to say moment. Oh, so what is my favourite gaming moment? Do you know what? I've got so many, it's impossible to choose. But the one that springs to mind is something you can kind of watch. So me and Steve filmed an assault on Lake Town Barrett. We literally came in the studio one day. We made up the rules for a scenario, picked a group of models, played a game, and it was incredible. And in typical top table fashion, the audio died. So it's actually a video. It is available on our channel. Go and check it out. But it's one that, because it was that fun to play, we didn't want to throw away the footage like we usually would. So Steve actually audio commentated over the game and gave his best representation of what was happening, just so we could show it to you. But that has been one of my favourite gaming moments, and there are so many more. I'm not even going to start because you'll be in here for another 3 hours with me chatting about that. Paul McElroy says Snotling Pump Wagon. Yeah, I know, man, so cool. And I was very upset, and I know you're a Gloomspike Gates player, that we didn't get rules from in that book, because that would have just been
You have the double-decker version.
The double-decker version. It has to be the double-decker version. That one was amazing. Nick's asking me, which painter, commission, or otherwise would you want to paint for it? We answered that in the question. Yeah, of course, it would be Murtar. I think his painting studio used to be called Yggdrasil Painting Studios. Go and have a look on Facebook. You'll probably find the Elf Army I'm talking about on there. It's probably not an active page anymore, but Yggdrasil Painting Studios, that's where you want to go. Matt Mountain. If you could choose anyone in the world to teach wargaming to, who would it be and what would you teach them? Do you know what? I'm going to sound a bit corny and cheesy here. It's my son. So my little boy Oscar is 6 and he is starting to get really fascinated about when Dad's painting his little dudes in the corner, as he calls it. And I would love one day to be able to play some games with Oscar. I'm not sure he's going to be into it. He just loves football and fighting and hurting me right now. But one day he might want to play. I'm not going to force it on him, but I would love to be able to play with Oscar. That would be incredible. So that would be the one person I'd want to play with, and I would teach him. I would start with Middle Earth. Can't get him to watch the movies yet, and he's probably a bit young, but I would love to start with Middle Earth there as well. So Johnny Hart says, you think it's worth getting a commission done? How much for a decent sized army? Dude, that is a bottomless pit of a question. Is it worth it? Depends on your financial situation, whether you really love playing with painted models and you want some super pretty painted models. How much would it cost? Completely, utterly, absolutely depends on the painter. You can find people on Facebook who will whack some base colours on for £1 a model, or you can find people who will charge £20 a model for infantry models, and it's about finding the point in between that is right for you and what you want for the price you want to pay. Ultimately, I've been asked this before, and it's always, it's right for you as long as you're happy with what you get for what you pay. I would recommend you go and check out Brush Baller. Have a look for that on Facebook, and we will link his page in the Top Table Gaming community group at the end of the stream, because he is a legend, currently doing my Hunter Arcs, and soon, this is news hot off the press, soon to be giving people some of our Top Table patrons a cheeky bit of a discount for using him. But that is coming soon. Nick, can you just scroll me back up, my man? I can't see where I'm up to. Down a bit. There we go. So, Graham Dixon, what do you think of the new Batman 3rd edition box set? Seems interesting, but rather expensive for a start. So, they have been leaking out... Excuse me one second. They've been leaking out information for about a month now about 3rd edition, and it caused a bit of upset because 2nd edition isn't a year old. But me and Graham have talked about Batman for a long time, both played it and had involvement at different periods. It looks real interesting. I love the models. They've of course gone back to Batman and Joker, and I saw the post today showing off what's in the box. So you get like the Batman, I think the Gordon and the Bat Signal is in there with the big, and like the heroes are coming on huge scenic bases right now. What's the price? I haven't seen the price, but I have been thinking that's going to be a lot. I've heard they've streamlined the game. They've removed the Razor Plan phase, which I actually loved, but I can understand why it got a bit heavy. They've streamlined it, and a lot of the feedback from trade shows where they've been demoing it are good. I'm interested because I've always loved that game. The reason I don't play it is because not many others do locally. I'm interested, but what is the price of the new starter set? Have they confirmed it? Because that would be interesting to hear. Jog PLC says, better start the Ogres then. Yes, you had, my friend. The Ogres are mega cool. Nick's doing an Ogre army as well. I'm currently working on, well, all sorts. AOS-wise, it's going to be the Aussie Art Bone Reapers for me. Rain says, Mango Loco is awesome. You guys could start like a Monster Energy fan club. You're like bros. Glenn Seymour says, who is your hobby hero? Oh... Who is... Can it be me? No, it's not myself. Who is my hobby hero? Actually, yeah, it's quite an easy one. This is a bit cheesy, but it is actually one of my closest personal friends and boss, Byron of Element Games. He is both a fantastic painter. I love his paint style. He does absolutely amazing stuff. He's also one of my best friends, and to boot, he's one of the best AOS players in the world. So he is a great competitive gamer. And I've been to events where he's won an event and taken most sporting, so he plays in the spirit of the game. He's the most lovely man on earth, although he gets far too drunk at tournaments. And he's an incredible painter, an incredible gamer, and just an all-round nice guy. So it is probably Byron. What we got? John Hart says, what games are you planning on doing battle reports on next year? Warcry got some great views for the channel, really enjoyed them. Okay. It's a conversation me and Steve have been having a lot, and I think the question varies per channel host. Obviously, Ben and Steve will probably always be 99.9% Middle-earth. Me, I like to go and dabble in other things. One thing I will say is I'm going to be playing a lot more Middle-earth next year. A lot more, so expect to see me in the mix with them two on that one. And again, I changed the downside, if there ever is one, of working and running a gaming venue is it's in your interest to learn most games, and then it's very hard for them not to all catch your attention and you want to play them. So I bounce around all over the place, but you're going to see some of this bad boy. That's going to happen, so expect to see some God Tier on the channel, maybe a bit of Marvel, but I think Middle-earth will be there for me in its core as well. And of course, not just playing. I think Steve's alluded to a couple of times of our big plans for 2020, which is taking top table gaming on the road and providing what we think will be a legitimate streaming of big Middle-earth events, so getting everyone else on the camera too. Steve Bonar says in 2017 he painted 703 models, and in 2018 he painted 1,020. That is just insane. Like crazy, man. Where'd you keep all this stuff? To be fair, the original this studio was for me to find somewhere to put all my gaming stuff, and we've filled a room with ours, but that is a lot of painting models. Well done, my man. What would you say, Steve, is the biggest thing you've learned from painting 1,800 models? We've linked the Brushballer YouTube channel there as well, so you'll be able to find out all information about commissions and stuff. Johnny Hart says, I'm talking decent table standard with decent characters. Go check out Brushballer, man. That's where you need to go. Graham Dixon says 130 quid for Batman 3rd, and Matt Mountain says it too. So it's got like what 14, 15 models in it. Some of them are massive. Is the I saw it as like the Joker's Funhouse Ferris wheel and stuff. Is that paper terrain like the other ones? That's a big old price tag, but it is in line with some of the stuff. Look at Necromunda from GW. What was that? 175 quid. Like, games are getting expensive, resin production's expensive. Yeah, it's probably a bit more than I'd want to pay, unless I knew like all my buddies were getting into it and I was playing it like crazy. What I'd probably rather do at that price point is pick up the rulebook, providing they do it separately, which of course they should, and then grab the crude that suits my needs. Jilla says that is a bit pricey for a starter game. That is a hefty price tag, but again, like anything, if you're going to use it, then you can soon break up the justification. Ian Torrance says, Batman does look great, but another 100 plus starter set bites at Christmas. It does. There's not much more to say than that. It does. The game is great. I played both first and second edition and loved it. So a bit of me secretly hopes that third edition explodes, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. If you could get anyone to wear a Top Table Gaming shirt out in public for a day, who would it be? Ooh, Kim Kardashian. Imagine the exposure we'd get if somebody like mega famous or like Kanye. Yeah, anybody wearing it, like anybody like that wearing it would be legit. So like, just pick the most famous person in the world, and they can have a Top Table T-shirt that says "Subscribe now." That'd do for me. Blackfire Production says, "Come to Canada, dude. You pay for the plane ticket. I'll be there." Are you hitting Adepticon or anything next year, Adam? Because I am at Adepticon. I might be at Gen Con too, but Adepticon I am super excited for in March. And of course, I will be taking my camera and vlogging the whole experience of heading to America to play with Toy Man Dollies for you all. So expect to be able to check that out next year. Jog PLC, wowzers, that's epic. I struggle to get a unit done. Scroll up a little bit, there we go. Yeah, I'm the same. I really go on and off with it. So one month I can paint 100 models and just be like, yes, come on. And then for 3 months I can't get anything painted. So I'm really on and off with it at the moment. But what I'm going to try and do next year is focus it into a more consistent, steady stream. That's my hobby resolution, as me and Jill are going to do together. Richard Smith says, what's your favourite UK gaming event besides... Oh, you ruined my answer. Besides the Weekender. That's tough. Yeah. I'm not going to include any I run, because I would have said Vengeance, as Nick is reminding me. I have to say, it is the Facehammer GT, which is at Element Games. It's a 90-person AOS event run by the Facehammer guys, which includes Byron, him and 3 of the top AOS players, and lovely guys run an AOS podcast you should go and check out. That's one of my favourites, and then I should probably pick one that isn't at Element as well, because that's just biased. My favourite non-Element event is, I really love, I've missed it the last couple of times, Seven Stones, which is run by the wonderful Damien, who was here on Sunday with Stephen Ben. He runs a Middle-earth SPG doubles event down in London, and it is absolutely fantastic. And me and Steve have been a couple of times as doubles partners and had a whale of a weekend, so I'm going to go with that one. Tom Glover, hello Tom, good to have you, my man. Just made it in to hear about Brush Brawler, definitely recommend. Just been playing with some class-looking Galadrim thanks to Gaz. They're beautiful, man. He's done some killer work, and I can't wait to get my paws on my Hunter Ox. He sent me some pictures the other day, and they are pretty. Glyn Seymour says, how did it go? Tom, and Jog Peel says, God, not Kanye. John Hart wants some Top Table Yeezys. I'm sure Steve would be with you on that one, my man. Just stick some water balloons up your shirt. Apparently that gets subs. Yeah, we could try that. I mean, I'm not far off needing to do that, to be honest. Matt Martin says, card terrain models are a new formula plastic. They said that last time, and the resin was bad though, so I'm not going to bank on that. Love the models, but it'll be the second time I've invested heavily into the game for it to change again significantly. There is that, Matt. The interesting thing is, like the last second edition Batman starter set, are they going to get rules, or the new one's going to supersede it? Who knows? We just don't know. Steve Bonner, I think I've learnt mostly speed tricks, tips and shortcuts to a large amount of minis to a basic standard, and ways to hide the amount of minis I actually own in boxes and phone cases without damage. Really interesting. James Baldwin, who used to do my stuff, always used to say to me, he got to a point where he wasn't getting any better. He just got faster in his painting, and the speed he could knock out commissions was insane. Adam, yeah, leaning towards going to Adepticon in March, just not certain as to what events I'll be attending. Dude, get to Adepticon. We can hang out and have some beers. I'm going to be playing AOS. That's locked in. I don't know what else I'm going to play yet. I'm probably going to wait until closer to the time, see if SFG are doing anything about this, and that's when I'll get involved. Last reminder, guys, as well, we've got about 25 minutes left on the stream. You've got 15 minutes to ask me some questions, and the best question of the night is winning this bad boy, okay? So get some questions in. Tom Glover says, against Gaz, pretty well, won a game of domination. Gaz, have you won a game yet? You might watch this back later. Come on, man. In my second game, pretty shocking. Galadriel needed to save one fate roll out of 3 with rerolls and failed each one. Died in one turn. Dude, you sound like you've borrowed my dice. That is the worst. And we've all been on the receiving end of that way more than the odds should put us, which is one of the funny things I love about SPG. Steve Bonner says, cheers, but it's 3 colours, a wash and based standard. Still impressive, don't knock it. I agree massively. Glenn says, sorry to hear that, bud. But what can you do when the dice don't want to help you? Yeah, we've all been there, right? Look at the last couple of months of battle reports that we've done with Top Table. Steve, he rolls 6s and no one else rolls higher than a 3. Do check out the Tomb of Moria bat rep we did if you want to laugh at dice being insane. If there was a painting competition between Top Table gaming people, who would win? Okay, so who's the best painter in Top Table? I don't even want to admit this on camera. It's Steve, innit? And I don't want to admit that because he's going to save this now as a little 4-second clip to just everyone know Steve. And you may have seen some of the stuff he's been doing lately, especially like the Hobbit heroes. Steve is probably paints the most consistently out of us. He tries to really keep his hobby time up, and he kills it. His standard has gone like up through the roof, so it's probably Steve. I reckon Steve is a legit painter. God, I can't believe I just said that. Paid him a compliment. Steve Bonner says the white scars this year are to a higher standard. Next year I'm going further with an airbrush. Nice. I've got an airbrush and I do shamefully just use it to prime models. That's probably something I'm going to learn some skills with. Top Table Nick is actually a pretty nifty guy with an airbrush. He can do some mega stuff, so we might hit him up for a couple of lessons. He doesn't know yet though. Shh. Glenn says, Jay, don't diss Gaz when he's painting your Hunter Box. Yeah, that was probably a rookie move, wasn't it, my man? I probably should have... That was a... Gaz, you are a wonderful human being. I love you. You're very pretty. You're a great person. And I love you. There we go. I think I've recovered there, Glenn. John Hart says, why should I buy God Tier? How is it better than other offerings? I'm not going to answer that because I'm going to do a full review a month in and I don't feel like I've played enough and it's not hit mass market yet, so I've not played with enough different people. So I can't really answer that one, but that is a bit tough. But what I will say is you're going to come play me next week. Let's have a game at Element, dude. Will Pintar says, converting these arms is fiddly as hell. I'm not bothering with the feet. Also, your boss being your hobby hero. I know, Will, I know. Don't tell him either. He doesn't watch this stuff, but he is alright, isn't he? Tom Glover says, makes it worse when Caliborn was trying to heroic to help her out and rolled 3 1s in his duel. Then with the Lord of the West, another one. The look of the TTG has begun to diminish. Dude, I feel you there, brother. That sounds like the most unlucky thing. But I love them things because they don't half make you laugh. Steve Bonner says, Jay, just think how quick I'll be with an airbrush. Dude, you can like dual wield them and paint like 3,000 models an hour. It'll be glorious. Nicholas Ledin, hello, welcome, my friend. He says, this might have been said, but are you going to do some sort of battle report for God's sake? Nicholas, absolutely, my friend. I've played 3 or 4 games up to now, the purpose of them being me learning the rules so I don't get them wrong, so YouTube don't tell me I'm an idiot, but it'll happen anyway. But we've got another video releasing in the next couple of days, which is my 5 reasons you should play God Tier. So for anyone on the fence and not familiar, that's one for you to check out. From there, we're going to move into battle reports and how to play. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the Top Table Gaming Community Facebook group because that's where all the action is going on. And yes, that stuff will be coming for you, my friend. Rob B, top 3 tips for someone wanting to get into wargaming. Great question. Pick a game you love the look of. It doesn't matter. Don't bother reading rules and game mechanics. Pick a game that looks appealing to you. So, like, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, play The Walking Dead. If you're a huge sci-fi fan, play 40k. Play whatever appeals to your kind of interests. Secondly, find a community. The community is the most important part of any game, hands down. So go and find a community. Go and just like pop into your Altrincham gaming clubs or your Element Games and just hang around for an evening, have a chat with the people. Everyone's super friendly and welcoming. See if they feel like cool guys, because ultimately, unless you're playing fun people, you're not going to have a fun time. And then thirdly, do what you want to do. So don't get kind of trapped. Don't feel like you have to paint everything. If you don't feel like you're a painter and you don't want to paint, go play some games. If you want to be a hobbyist, don't play games, just go and paint. Do your hobby your way is probably my biggest tip there. Where we at? Top Table Gaming Nick, airbrush tutorials incoming. I doubt it. Nick likes being on that end of the camera, and we've got enough tech things for him to be doing for a while. I would love it, but I very much doubt it, but who knows? Keep tuned. Jug PLC, I can't remember if this has been asked. What games are you looking forward to next year? It was asked, and I couldn't really answer. SBG was my main answer because I've had a year of playing a lot less, but going to change that in 2020. But a lot of the games I've been looking forward to have just dropped, so we shall see. Ian Torrance, would you rather paint one Top Table Steve-sized Samwise or 100 Samwise-sized top table Steves? Oh my god, I'm going to read that again. So, 1 Steve-sized Samwise Gamgee, or 100 Samwise-sized Steves. It's the... Oh, man. I want to paint 100 Samwise-sized top table Steves because I can send you all one and just like plant them around Element Games and stuff. I would love 100 Samwise-sized top table Steves. Glenn Seymour, Tom, maybe they should go into the West. Yeah, maybe they should. Steve Bonner says 100 Samwise-sized Steves, which we'd probably all agree with. Where are we up to there? Cool. So we're going to have to start smashing through these. Would you rather play one God of War game for the rest of your life or be able to play each game only once? Probably one war game for the rest of my life, because playing each game once you don't really know what you're doing. Steve Bonner says, what colour are your boxes? They are not blue, they are red, my friend. Johnny Hart, if you could only play one game, what would it be? Middle-earth SPG. Top Table Gaming, Steve says live stuff, not love stuff. Fat fingers. Yeah, we've got lots of live stuff coming. Skullmunch, what have you got written on your hand? That says buy a Pantone chart, which is a chart where you can accurately track a colour. It's a work thing. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I need to buy a Pantone chart. And my God, are they expensive? Whoa! I panicked when I Googled it today. Anyway, tangent. Who is Frodo and Sam between you and Steve? I would say Steve is Frodo and I am Sam, just because, yeah, it's probably right. And also, Sam is the real hero of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. John PLC, which Lord of the Rings Hobbit characters best represented the TTG host? Ooh, okay. Steve is, of course, Gollum. Lee is somebody with a beard, Gimli. Ben can be something Gondor related, so we're going to go with Faramir. Yeah. Me, Fatty Bolger. We'll go with that. We'll swerve into the channel joke. And Top Table Nick. Ooh, you are Peter Jackson when he does the cameo in the village of Bree eating the carrot, because you do kind of look like him in that scene. Just going to throw that out there. Skullmunch, he's trying to pick of me so he doesn't get lonely. Yeah, if we had one of those like Samwise-sized Steves right now, it could be right here and I'd feel so much happier. That'd be fantastic. Skullmunch probably is love stuff. Oh, I've lost him. Bit more. Probably is love stuff, but can't say that before the watershed. Yeah, I've got to be careful. I can't refer to certain Gene Stealer factions either, because I get that wrong a lot. Steve Bonner, when are you guys giving me airbrush lessons? As soon as you get your ass, your bottom to Element, my friend. That was kind of a swear. Rain says, haha, Jonathan, that was lucky. Skullmunch says, haha, probably has Steve. Missing you tonight, buddy. We're all missing Steve tonight. This is tough for one person as well. I don't know how Andy does it every Monday. We are all missing you though, bud. Jog PLC, TTG bobbleheads for the win. Dude, how awesome would... Oh, Steve, I know you like hunting for merch, man. Please find those bad boys if you could. Steve is saying, Top Table Gaming flex caps for the win. We did get a sample of a flex cap. It ain't going to fit my massive head, but I reckon Steve will be rocking that soon. Josh Bryant says, yes, give out the Samwise size Top Table Steves as prizes. Yeah, solid one. Rain says, would you rather never be allowed to go to Element Games again or only drink water from now on? I'd just drink water from now on. I've actually been drinking a lot more water lately. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm getting into those ages. Brush Baller is in. Gaz, welcome, my friend. I've been saying very nice things about you. Well, I said one not nice thing about you, but then loads of very nice things about you all night, my friend. Glenn Seymour says, Ben is Gollum, lol. Oh, meanie. Jonathan Hart, I've heard talk of a Warhammer reboot. Is it true? Thoughts? So they've announced that they're going to do Warhammer The Old World, which is, from what they're saying and communicating, bringing rank and flank wargaming back and the Old World factions. It is true. Thoughts? I'm excited. They're not going to make everyone rebase the stuff again. It will clearly be movement trays. That's my assumption. Any new game or anything that gets people excited about tabletop gaming is only a good thing in my opinion, both because of my job and because of my outlook on tabletop gaming. So that's how I feel. Get on Hero Forge for mini Steves. Yeah, we could Hero Forge. Oh, I'm so going to do that when I get home. Steve says, doing a great job, bro. Cheers, Dad. Appreciate it. Jonathan Hart says, you are doing well, mate. Daisy is still awake. She's laughing every time you say Steve. Hi, Daisy. Your dad is a silly head, and he said he wants to give you 50 quid out of his wallet. Go for it. Steve Bonner says, something that didn't you, Jay? I'm not sure if I could say that word, Steve. You ever played Dungeon Saga, and what did you think? I've never tried Dungeon Saga, but I hear it is a fantastic, fantastic dungeon crawler. And if you like Dungeon Saga, do go and check out. It's finished on Kickstarter now. You can probably late pledge, but the League of Infamy, I believe, is like Dungeon Saga leveled up, which is a really fun Mantic dungeon crawler, fantasy style, which me and Top Table Lee got to try behind closed doors before the Kickstarter launch, and it is amazing. What else we got? Ben's impressions from Weekender 2 was spot on. I'm not sure what that means.
He did call an impression, didn't
Did he?
Saturday night, I think.
I'll check. Oh yeah, Ben was drunk. I'll check that out. Steve says, hashtag Xmas Hero Quest back rep. No, I don't want to do that. I will do it actually. Glenn says I'm doing great. And Steve Bonner says, Jay, Warhammer Fantasy on War of the Ring movement trays. Dude, that sort of stuff is exactly my thinking. I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Have I just caught up? That was like a speed round 5 minutes, because I didn't realise you guys have kept me in the chat all night, which is great fun, and it's made it a lot easier not having Steve here to chat to you. So, before I dive into giving this to one of you beautiful people, and I'm going to have a scroll for a minute and find my favourite question, I do want to talk to you about the Top Table Patreon. So if you guys love what we do at Top Table Gaming, and there is lots more coming as well, you could check out the Top Table Patreon, where we will never hide any of our content and our nonsense and us sitting here talking rubbish behind a paywall, but we have a Patreon program which helps us keep the lights on, keep the studio going, and keep creating content and trying to constantly improve and give you the best stuff we can. We also offer lots of benefits. We've got some discount stuff. You get free dice at certain tiers. You get a free t-shirt at certain tiers. And there's all sorts of benefits to give back to you for supporting us via Patreon. So if that is something you do want to go check out, do check it out. And also I want to stress to you all as well, if any of you shop at Element Games, please consider using our affiliate link, because what that does is you still get the same discount through the Element Games website. I think Nick's going to post it, and we're going to put a new pin post up in the group in the next couple of days so you can find it. If you click that link when you go into shop at Element, it doesn't cost you any more. You get the same service you normally would, but we get a little bit of a kickback for pointing you towards them, and it helps the channel grow. So if you guys want more from us, those are some great ways. And of course, check out merch and all the other stuff, because we love seeing you all representing the channel and flying the flag with the colours. So now I need to pick a comment, and I'm going to try and get my laptop working for this so I can just sit and scroll for a minute. So you're going to have to bear with me. I've got a couple in my head. It's down between 2 at the moment, so I'm just going to have a quick look. Really appreciate all the questions. It's been wicked just firing questions at me. I absolutely loved Rob's question about what should companies do to build a community. That was fantastic. Who said the 100 Steve Samwise ones? Because that's got a place in my heart. Where are you? That was mega. Where are you at? Let's have a look. Ian Torrance. So I adored that question, and I really loved Glenn's question about what is my favourite thing about all the other channel hosts. So it's down to one of those 3 wonderful people. Ooh. Okay, we're rolling the dice. I've got a dice. You're going to have to trust me on the roll, because I'm not prepared. So on a 1 or a 2, Glenn's question about the Top Table hosts get it. On a 3 or a 4, Ian Torrance gets it for his 100 Samwise size Steves. And on a 5 or a 6, Rob Brown is getting it for his community question. So, are you ready, Nick? You can be my independent adjudicator. It's a 6. Rob, you have just won yourself a God tier starter set. You were looking for new games to play. You've now found one. And that is ace, because he's local, so it doesn't have to go in the post. Fantastic. Everybody wins. Oh, that broke. And look, it is a Top Table 6. Because our dice do roll 6s all the time, in case you check out our Patreon and want some for free. Just saying. So congratulations, Rob, on winning yourself a beautiful, beautiful copy of God Tier. So what have we got going on? We're going to jump back in the chat. Everyone wishing congratulations. And we'll have a couple more minutes before I wrap this up. So Steve and Nick have both been posting links. Johnny Hart says, Hero Quest says it was it. Would you rather host solo again, or listen to you saying Steve is the best painter? 100. I'm going solo every day of the week. I don't want to hear that back. Steve Bonner says, not yet, brah. Like, follow, share, comment on Patreon. Yeah, do like the videos. Make sure you're subscribed and get in the Facebook group. We're like 10 people away from having 1,000 people in the Facebook group, and I've got a cool idea planned, which I'm going to chat to Steve about. about what we're going to do when we hit 1,000 over there. So do go and join. 2020, we of course need volunteers to get into the studio and bring their armies in. If you'd love to come and film with us on one of our gorgeous boards, message me, Steve, Ben, or Lee, and let's make it happen, because we've just finished. We had a couple of late nights, everybody chipped in getting the studio sorted. We've now painted it, we've mounted all the lights on the ceiling, it looks legit. This is the Studio 2.0, it's nearly done, and we would love to have you guys here and get involved. Steve Bonner says, just thinking of picking up D&D Stranger Things to run my mouth. That would be fun. I don't know how you'd roleplay going into the old Upside Down, but that'd be real cool. Steve says, I think stop mentioning battle companies because we never get it done. Everyone says, well done Rob, well done Rob, well done Rob, well done Rob. Rain Nicholas says, I have never been to the UK and I really want to come next year. Well, something that rhymes with ski kender tree could be something that would be good to come to. We will have much more information soon, I hope, and we would love to meet you and hang out and have 3 days of playing. So let's see if we can make it happen. And then we've got lots more thank you Robs, which is really good. Good job, Rob, you won yourself some new swag. Rob's like, I'll be swinging by tomorrow anyway, just come and see me, man, I'm here all day. And everyone's saying well done. And then we've got one from Rain, which is going to be the last question before we wrap up, which is, would you rather paint 2,500 points of Hobbits in a weekend or give Steve a body pain? Oh, you had to lower the tone at the end. I'm painting 2,500 Hobbits, folks. That is happening. And obviously we've got Tom Glover saying, if you start a Battle Company series, get people to bring their own companies from their own campaigns to challenge you. That's cool. And I really love low point bat reps because you can get really cinematic with it and have really cool stuff going on. So that is the end of episode 26 of Top Table Live. I hope you've enjoyed me, Top Table J, running this one solo and chatting to you guys. We're going to have another stream in the next 2 weeks, which I think will be the last one of the year, because the one after that is like Christmas Eve, and me and Steve will get shot if we try and live stream on Christmas Eve night. So do check in. We're going to do a bit of a year in review and have a bit of a celebration of everything we've achieved and everything we've met, and it'll be really nice to wrap the year up with the lives that way. But as always, check out the Facebook group, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for checking it out. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you all, and until the next video, I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.